Greetings viewers, blah blah blah. In 2013, Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic, did a review on Sailor Moon, and recently Miss Brony made a response to that video. I did a little response video that was more or less a meme, that I felt more or less summed up my feelings about his rant, and said I wouldn't be doing a full-on commentary on it. However, people have kept asking if I was going to do a full commentary on it, so here we are. Plus, the more I thought on it, the more I realized I actually do have things to say. This isn't going to be the usual type of commentary where I go through the whole video. Instead, I'm going to respond to the points I feel that need it. So I'll have timestamps for you so you can follow along. Also, keep in mind that no, I am not a fan of Doug Walker, nor do I support Channel Awesome. But I do feel that the rants about Doug are quite possibly the most heavily flawed videos on MAP's channel.
I'd say it's been a while since we talked about this topic, hasn't it? It still feels like yesterday that Alison Pregler and the rest of the former Channel Awesome staff helped to expose Mike Machad, Brad Jones, and the Walker brothers for the scum that they are. I guess Larry Bundy Jr. really is the last man standing. I know it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it really has been over a year since the whole Change the Channel movement. But I think the fact that it's still being talked about really resonates the impact that it made.
Okay, this has nothing to do with Doug's video. You're just bringing it up in the hopes of making hashtag Change the Channel relevant again. The horse is dead, Map. Quit beating the carcass and let it rot already. This isn't me defending Channel Awesome, by the way. I'm saying that because it's been over a year now, and nothing significant has happened since then other than everyone and his mom ditching CA. I'm guessing whatever massive result people wanted didn't occur. No, I'm not happy that Doug, Rob, and Mike got away with a slap on the wrist. But if everyone else realized that they didn't have to put up with those jackasses and left, well, that's a win in my book.
A lot of people have been saying that we should just get over it because it's old news or it's not relevant anymore. How it was just another hate trend that would outlast its welcome after a few weeks. Even though it's still being talked about and people are still mocking them for it on Twitter. Which is pretty much the equivalent of saying we should just forget all about the sex crimes Bill Cosby committed and allow him to start a new season of his show on Netflix.
Did you seriously compare a fucking internet drama to a pattern of criminal behavior? I was so pissed off the first time I heard this. I honestly can't put it into words.
Well, let's start by bringing up a little Easter egg. At some point in time, Doug got the brilliant idea to nickname Sailor Moon Jailbait the Show. At a convention. In front of hundreds of people.
That's a pretty big claim, Map. Do you have any proof to back it up? Ooh, not a single citation. This is actually the biggest problem with your rants on Doug, and something that seriously hurts your credibility, Map. Without any proof behind your claims, they all boil down to, this actually happened, believe me, and I'm sorry, but I don't.
Get ready to jot down my latest formula.
You got it?
Yes, and it's going to make us millions.
Well, that's wonderful! Let's hear it!
14-year-old girl acts stupid, uses magical powers to look slutty and stupid, talking cat tells her how to fight crime because she's so stupid, surrounds herself with smarter girls that make her look even more stupid.
So according to Doug, Sailor Moon is just a bunch of 14-year-old girls using magic powers while looking slutty, which is absolutely nothing like what the show actually is. And aside from this just being a horrible summary of the show, this opening sketch acts as a frame for the comedy of the rest of the episode.
Jokes. Have you heard of them? Plus, the scientist was just talking about Serena, who, in both dubs of the show, is kind of portrayed as a moron when not in her Sailor Moon persona. Keep in mind, Doug was reviewing the English dub of the show, and it really didn't seem to help that that dub wanted to emphasize what a dummy Serena was a good percent of the time. It was even a running gag about how much of an airhead Serena was, even her boyfriend commenting on it.
Only 40 seconds in, we already come across a huge red flag.
I guess the only downside is the obvious American additions, like this pointless Star Wars style scroll. Yeah, because that's what girls watching this show are really into. Star Wars! They go so hand in hand, I'm surprised Lucas didn't release a more feminine version with Serena doing Darth Vader.
Oh, fuck you, Doug. Fuck you. This is the kind of shit I expect to see from Kathleen Kennedy. He is seriously jumping to the conclusion that Star Wars is not something that can be enjoyed by girls. Why? Because there's only one primary female character in the original trilogy? I don't care how you slice it, that's straight up sexist. How the hell did he even come to this conclusion?
Again, it was a joke. You don't have to find it funny, but it was a joke. Plus, when the English dub aired in 1995, it's clear that the team that aired this wanted to aim it at little girls, who most likely would have been drawn to the bright colors and slice-of-life situations, more than the action scenes where they fight monsters and villains.
If you were to look at the commentary and behind the scenes of several episodes, like the real thoughts and first viewing videos, a lot of the jokes that Doug puts into the final cut of a Nostalgia Critic episode are entirely based on his initial viewings of the thing in question.
And does him stating his opinion on a show or movie negatively affect the enjoyment people have towards them? Did people stop enjoying or watching Sailor Moon simply because of Doug Walker?
Now, I know it seems like I'm making a big deal out of the first joke of this review, but it's a gateway to a huge problem with this episode. It is absurdly misogynistic.
How? Because he made an offhand comment about the text scroll being like something you'd see out of Star Wars? I know what you're doing here, Map, and you're bad at it. I showed your video to several women, and they told me that this point was both infuriating and stupid.
It's like He-Man somehow removing more clothes bizarrely disguises them. Though to be fair with both these outfits, is the face story the first thing you're going to be looking at? Take all that away and just tell yourself, this obviously sexualized transformation that takes up a solid minute in each episode happens to a 14-year-old girl. Yeah, forget that for a second, didn't you? The girls in this show are, and always have been, 14 years old. 14 years old. 14 years old. 14, damn! Years old.
Okay, that right there, that was messed up.
And the panty shot wasn't somehow? Keep in mind, the animators had to draw that. And the dub that was edited for an American audience kept that in. The damn could have been in response to that shot. Keywords being could have been.
Oh my fucking Lord! There is literally so much wrong with this couple of seconds that I could write a book about it. First of all, the transformation scenes are not fan service. Like, at all. There's no jiggling boobs or perverted gleams in these transformations. The focus is put on the outfits and accessories the Sailor Scouts wear for battle. Their movements don't even imply any sort of fan service.
Except panty shots can be seen as fan service, but whatever.
This asswipe has 1 million subscribers and I don't. So following the ramble on Japan's sex laws and the dreaded I didn't know she was 14, good God, why is any member of my species still supporting this idiot after that?
It's almost like the point of that joke is Doug knows sexualizing 14-year-old girls is a bad thing. But nah, he's Doug Walker. He is toad serious about every joke he makes. And he is far too retarded to actually be clever. Right, Map? It's almost like he focused on the fact that they're 14 because to him, the transformation sequences are strangely sexual. And let's be honest here, how many of us didn't think they were possibly naked while transforming?
And it's also another example of his sexist behavior in this episode.
Oh my god, this is awful.
Turn that back on.
Who said that?
I did.
Penis?
Yeah.
You can talk?
All penises talk around this age. It's the greatest secret no woman knows about, but wouldn't be the least bit shocked to discover.
Alright, to quote Doug himself.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Despite what a terrifying discovery this is, I'm still not gonna watch this show.
It doesn't matter what you think. From now on, I'll be calling all the shots. You're gonna see everything in a whole new light.
Okay, I am currently questioning every decision I've ever made in my life leading to this moment. Can someone just kill me, please? I know I still have a lot to live for, but I don't want to live with the knowledge that I had to sit through Doug waving his junk at a camera 3 inches away from my face.
What are you talking about?
Look at that show again. Looks damn good now, doesn't it?
Wow, there's more to this show than I thought.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm a mentally capable male. I won't let my penis call all my decisions for me.
Turn that back on. I'll shoot where the sun always shines.
Okay, when did this turn into South Park? So what I'm getting from this is that Doug is being held hostage by his dick to watch Sailor Moon for its non-existent sex appeal, because it's still not his fault that he saw Sailor Moon as slutty. I shouldn't have to tell anyone this, but your penis does not make you do stuff. Sexual urges do not have the ability to hold you hostage to them. This might just be seen as Doug making a really shitty joke, but a fairly big part of society has somehow trained itself to believe that. You know all those commercials, movies, and TV shows that seem to have this aggressive portrayal of the stereotype that men only think about sex and want sex from a woman?
I wonder how much money he makes. I wonder if he loves his mother. I wonder if it was his hair. I wonder if he wants kids. I wonder if he's the one.
I want to sleep with her, 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 I want to sleep with her. I want a Pepsi Max, I want a Pepsi Max, I want a Pepsi Max.
Not a chance.
Wait, which one?
Because that's exactly what Doug is doing here. Men are perverts and only think about getting laid. Men think about sex a lot and it's the primary thing on their mind. Men are perverts who can control their sexual side. It is such a stupid stereotype that has long since overstayed its welcome.
It's an exaggeration of Doug coming into puberty. You do know when that happens. Teenage boys tend to think with their dicks. right? I know you aren't dumb enough to take a skit like this seriously, which leads me to believe that you're making a bigger deal out of this than it actually is. To push this Doug is a sexist narrative.
So just to check. Okay, shame. Okay, shame.
Oh, so now you're addressing the double standards of America marketing sex after you spent 5 minutes blaming Japan for it.
No, he's saying in the original Japanese dub, Uranus and Neptune are a lesbian couple, but in the English dub, they were made into cousins that had a very awkward relationship. Funny how you cut that part out. It's almost like you wanted to misinform your audience or something. And I don't care about the rest of the video. So, ending it here. Map, this has to be your worst rant on Doug yet. And your rants on the nostalgia critic in general are among the worst videos on your channel. The more I watched, the more and more obvious that you got triggered by some throwaway comments and jokes Doug made years ago. Trust me, I'm not the only one who thought you made this video, because you seem to have this "it's Doug Walker and he's worse than Hitler" mentality. My own girlfriend, who is a fan of Sailor Moon, thought this was a garbage video, and that you really need to take a chill pill in regards to Doug. No, I'm not saying you can't have issues with his content or with Doug as a person, but the way you do it, it genuinely feels like you hate the man simply for existing and go out of your way to make him look worse than he actually is. In this video especially, you keep trying to push this narrative that Doug is somehow a sexist, all because of some stupid jokes. Map, honestly, these rants on Doug feel an awful lot like when you ranted on the Bronasis community all those years ago. Those are videos you regret making, but I doubt you'll feel the same way about your rants on Doug Walker, no matter how flawed they become. Anyways, with all that said, this is Night saying thanks for watching, and please share your thoughts with me.